The Occupational Safety and Health Administration requires employers to limit workers' exposure to respirable crystalline silica on the job. This is one of a series of videos showing dust control methods that OSHA specifies for many common construction tasks in Table 1 of the Respirable Crystalline Silica Standard for Construction. When used properly, these methods are effective in limiting workers' exposure to respirable crystalline silica dust. This video describes how to fully and properly use an integrated water delivery system to control dust when using a stationary masonry saw to cut materials that contain crystalline silica. Many stationary masonry saws have a built-in water delivery system that applies water to the saw blade. The water reduces wear of the blade and prevents the blade from overheating. Applying water to the saw blade can also effectively control dust when cutting masonry materials containing crystalline silica. To comply with Table 1, the water delivery system must be integrated with the saw and must continuously feed water to the blade. An integrated water delivery system is one that was supplied by the equipment manufacturer and developed to be used with the specific make and model of the tool. An integrated water delivery system for a stationary masonry saw typically consists of a pump, hose, nozzle, and basin. Before starting to cut, the saw operator should make sure that enough water is available to apply a steady stream while cutting. When applying water to the blade, the operator should also make sure that the amount of water is sufficient to minimize release of visible dust. It's important to correctly operate and maintain the water delivery system. When the water delivery system is not working properly, dust is not effectively controlled. With regular use, debris can clog the pump, hoses can become pinched, and hose connections may fail. To make sure a continuous stream of water reaches the blade, the saw operator should regularly check nozzles for damage, remove any clogs, and ensure that the hoses and connections are intact and working correctly. The operator should also change the water when needed and should dispose of dirty water and waste material collected in the saw's basin in a manner that will minimize worker exposure to silica dust. The saw must also be operated and maintained according to the manufacturer's instructions to minimize dust emissions. Instructions often specify the following: the type and diameter of the blade, the recommended amount of water to apply to the blade, procedures for checking the blade for wear or damage, how often to replace dirty basin water with clean water, and a maintenance schedule. As long as the integrated water delivery system is fully and properly implemented on the stationary masonry saw, the saw operator and workers who are assisting the saw operator are not required to wear respirators. Using a stationary masonry saw indoors or in an enclosed area requires an exhaust method, such as a portable fan, as needed to minimize the accumulation of visible airborne dust. Be sure that any exhaust method chosen moves airborne dust away from workers and does not block an exit route. Employers who fully and properly implement the dust control method specified by OSHA in Table 1 are not required to measure the saw operator's exposure to respirable crystalline silica or the exposure of other workers assisting with the task. The Respirable Crystalline Silica Standard for Construction also includes additional requirements to protect workers exposed to respirable crystalline silica. Many of these requirements apply whether employers are using a dust control method specified by OSHA in Table 1 or an alternative dust control method. More information on the standard's requirements to protect workers exposed to respirable crystalline silica, including information on specified exposure control methods for other common construction tasks, can be found at www.osha.gov/silica. For information about other OSHA health and safety standards, visit www.osha.gov or call OSHA at 1-800-321-OSHA.